Good afternoon, everybody out there. It is Craig Cobb from TraderCobb.com here. Going to take you through a top 10 market scan for Bybit. This is sponsored by Bybit, and you can get up to 30% off of your trading fees by clicking on in the description here and opening up and funding your Bybit account. So what's been going on? Oh, there's lots of people on Twitter saying the bulls are back. Oh, must be true, right? Right, let's have a look. Because I'm going to give you a bit of a reality check. One for myself as well, by the way. Let's be realistic about something with regards to Bitcoin. And I'm going to start with the daily. Now, all this talk of, oh, the bulls are back, we're going to a million, gazillion. Yeah, I love to believe it, love to. Because it's going to benefit me shit tons. So, yeah, I want to believe it, but belief doesn't make you, well, belief can make you a lot of money. Belief in yourself is generally where that comes from. But belief in what Twitter and the influence crowd are saying, you know, I haven't seen my socials grow at such a fast pace. And I know why. It's because it's quite boring. I just do trading. I don't talk about, what's the next 100x coin? Not that that's a bad thing. It's just not my style. But next week we'll be starting a show about 100x token. Sorry, I'm in a really good mood. And when I'm in a good mood, I tend to say stupid things and have a lot of laughter. Yeah, so I just wanted to sort of, I guess, give you a bit of a level out. Because there's a lot of people out there that are screaming from the rafters that Bitcoin is back, baby. And it is at the moment. But I want to get some overall bigger picture perspective as to what the charts are telling me, because I make money when I read the charts, not when I think. Keeping thinking to a minimal has become my number one biggest priority. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out here on the 1 monthly. Ta-da! Now, not a bad start for the month, huh? Today is the 7th of February, and I am born on the 15th of February. Birthday month. Whoop, whoop. Is that what they do? Sorry, I'm in full special mode today. I've trained, I've had a wee little massage. My body's aching quite a bit from that massage, but I'm feeling really happy. Okay, so we're up 11% here on Bitcoin. We've come back above the $40,000 magic mark I've been speaking about for a long time. What have we got here on the trend? It's an uptrend. Is it a good uptrend? No. Higher low, higher high. Pulling back on the monthly. We pulled back super deep, super duper duper deep. Check out how deep we went. We went beyond the 78.6. There you go. Actually, let me just, yeah, this, yeah, okay, got that right. I'm like, hang on, is that right? Yeah, it pulled back deep in there. The fibs aren't telling me jack diddly squat. I like them into the 50s and the 61.8s and around those areas. The 78.6 is not really one that I spend too much time on. Bottom line is this. Big move higher, big pullback. Are we going to see another big move higher? Oh, gosh darn, I hope so. It'd be nice. But we did see last month closing down 16.73%. Now, just to carry this through, from our lows, how far have we traveled thus far? About 30%, let's say. Let's have a look at the weekly now. Oh, dear. The weekly is still in a downtrend. Yes, it is still in a downtrend. Why? Here's a low. Couple of candles moving higher. There's a lower high. There we go. Guess what? The moving averages are in the correct order for a downtrend. Doesn't mean it's going to go lower. That's not what I'm suggesting. A pullback into the cradle zone would represent what? Possible cradle trade to the downside. Now, this is not a trade that I'm looking or pursuing. I'm not saying this for trading's sake. I'm saying it because we've got to have some realities. We've got to be real about this. Bitcoin has done what? It's had one big day. The whole market. For the most part, you know, the big dogs, Bitcoin and Ethereum, have had one big day. So from the weekly downtrend to the daily. See, look at this. Thus far, one big candle over 10%. Big candle, statement candle, really good thing. It's great. Am I suggesting it's bearish? No, I'm not. But I'm also not suggesting that we're out of the woods just yet. I'm trying to keep myself fairly focused and fairly understanding of what markets can do, because if you're always a perma bull and all you ever do is think about every time it goes up a little bit, you're like, yay, we're going to the moon, then you are going to be missing out on a lot of opportunity and also losing a lot of money. Now, I'm not suggesting that we're not going higher. That's not what I'm getting at here. What I'm suggesting is for people to be understanding of what is happening. Do we have a daily uptrend? Yes. There's a higher low and a higher high. Now, I don't care. You draw whatever zigzags you want through here. They don't mean diddly squat to me, okay? None at all. We do have a higher low. We do have a higher high. But let's, again, be realistic. Yesterday, we were up 2.36%. We'll take that. Happy. It was this day that really put all the work in. Now, what I do need to see is what we're starting to see now. I need to see this continue. We are outside of the issue land to the short side, as far as looking for short trades here on the daily, because the dailies have been our master. They've been where the money's been for the most part. Although, you know, I did take 2 longs Friday, Ampleforth and Metal, which I put out. I let people know on Twitter and everything. If you're not following me on Twitter, it's just at TraderCobb. Go follow. Please like, share, and subscribe on this too, please. That would be super duper. And turn on notifications if you would like to know when we do this more often. But yeah, those have been ripper trades to the upside. But believe it or not, I had Engine hit 1-to-1 last week. I had Luna, I think it was. There was 1-to-1 and it ended up moving hard against, but a little bit of profit there. And the only one that stopped me out for a loss was BAT. And these were dailies for the most part, apart from Luna. Ampleforth and Metal on the 8 hour, 2 cradles that performed fantastically well, and I'm still in. Hopefully they keep running. But the idea here is to be able to pick out the best opportunities within a market no matter what the market's doing. That's why it's been a slow start for me this year. There hasn't been a great deal of fantastic trend available. I haven't had a great deal of trades. I am now well in the money because of those 2 trades, Metal and Ampleforth. And Bitcoin is starting to make its move as well. So I'm going to keep going down from where I am now on the daily. We're going to halve that into the 12 hour. And as you can see on the 12 hour, we actually had a higher low, higher low here, higher high. Then we broke it, then we've popped up again. Of course, this little glitch here shows up as the higher low on the daily. But again, we see nothing that I can really work with just yet. I'm going to go down now to my favorite time, or my mid time frame that I like the most is the 4 hour. And you can see this consolidation through here. Now, I'm going to go from the 4 to the 1. The reason I'm going to go to the 1 is this. I've seen a number of posts in Twitter that have traders being anxious because of this sideways consolidation of Bitcoin. Did it make you anxious? Maybe it did. Did it make me anxious? No, because I haven't just made a decision in my mind that anything that happens in the market that's not me, the market moving higher, is therefore going to make me scared, worried, anxious, because I've built a portfolio the way I've built it. I don't mind if I make money on the way up or on the way down. I've got my portfolio, which is long term. I've got my trading, which is short term. So I'm cool either way. But when I looked at this morning and thought, why are people getting all weird and anxious? And we saw it pop up and then sell back off, and now we're moving again. Look at the market for what it is right now on this 1 hour chart. What is it? It's moving higher, but it's a mess. Until we get some really good cyclicity down here on these, on the 4 hour and whatnot, and what that's going to require happening is that Bitcoin continues to move to the upside, then we get a very nice clean pullback. That nice clean pullback, the next nice clean pullback that we get could be a very, very good opportunity to get long. Now, I want to be long if we're moving higher, if we have cyclicity, if I have trades that fit my rules. I don't want to be long if they don't fit my rules. I'm happy to be short if I find short trades. Having an agnostic view towards directions in markets until they provide us with that opportunity where we can see quite clearly what the trend is really a safe place to be, because it stops the whole anxiety thing. You just trade what you see, not what you think, because often what you think is a complete confirmation bias to what you want, and it seeps in through your subconscious. So just take it easy, read the charts for what they are. Bitcoin right now, the daily chart is definitely looking very, very nice. Can't argue with that. There's a higher low and a higher high. We still got a lot of work to do, however, to get ourselves outside of this weekly downtrend. Can it happen? Of course it can. Can we hit all-time highs in February? Probably. Is it likely to happen? I don't know, because I'm a trader. I don't have a crystal ball, and I don't have these theories. I don't come up with theories very often. I just trade what's in front of me. Yeah, boring at times, I know. But I tell you what, I'm good at it, and that'll do me. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Nothing just yet. And look, I'll even dip down to the 15 for just one moment. You can see here again, I don't even have any really, I don't really have any enough cyclicity to even work down these lower time frames. And we'll look at the 5 just for a bit of a laugh. Yeah, you could go all the way down to the 5 minute if you want. I'm not overly excited about doing that. I'm more interested in just letting things progress from where we are right now and see if I can't snaffle up. I can't talk. See if I can't find my way into a couple of good long trades. Bitcoin's outperforming Ethereum right now. Let's have a look at it off the lows here. That ain't bad, 40 odd %. I think Bitcoin was about the same if I'm correct. Let's go ahead to the monthly again, because I like to work the monthly, and this is looking better than Bitcoin in my opinion. This very clean, clear pullback is very, very nice indeed. Bullish candle so far up 14%, and as I said, 40% from the lows within that monthly. Once again, understanding chart structure, understanding trends, and multiple time frame analysis is going to set you up for life. Higher low here, higher high here, pulling back. What's that mean? We're still in a monthly uptrend. Epic. So what's the issue? The weeklies really are issue. We had a higher low, we had a higher high, and then it came all the way back down. Are we in a weekly downtrend? I wouldn't call that a weekly downtrend, no. Why? There's no clear low or high for me. I want to see us carry through. I want it to get stronger. I want it to get better. It's going to be quite some time before the weekly's back into an uptrend. Why? Because it's a weekly, and we need to have at least 2 candles pulling back for us to get the higher low. And then we've got to go to a higher high. Coming to the daily now, you'll see very similar to what Bitcoin displayed, which is a higher low just here. A little bit one over here as well, to be fair. And we're now hovering just above 3,000. So let's keep going lower, eh? Down to the 12. Beautiful trend. Mwah! Love it. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. This chart right here is a chart that I am stalking for trades. Why? A clean pullback into the cradle zone right here would be an absolute doozy. Can I get double fibs in here as well? Let's just check this out. Now, a lot of you won't know why I'm drawing these fibs in. If you haven't gone through the complete Become a Master course that we've got out there on the website, these might not make too much sense. But if we pull back into here, I wouldn't want it to go that far, really. There's a double fib in there, thereabouts. But I'm going to take those out because they don't bother me too much. I had this in my list on the 8 earlier. The reason it doesn't have that little dot there is because it's pushed higher again. So the higher time frame play for me is really kind of off at the moment, given that on the 8 anyway, it needs to pull back into that cradle zone. I could still do it on the 12. But from the 8, we're going to go to the 4. Excuse me. Again, this is one of the things that you can tell when it comes to price action and chart structure, is look at how long these moves have been. Tight little pullback, long move, and a long pullback. Long move, consolidation, no pullback. So look at these big bounces well outside of the cradle zone. That's why you can look at the 8 and why multiple time frames are so important, because it came down into here. Now, unfortunately, this candle was too big for me and it wasn't bullish enough. I was looking for longs in and around here at the time. I'm not sure. The 16, I think, was, yeah, right bang on that then. I didn't find anything. I'm not finding anything as it stands right now. Again, Ethereum here, where Bitcoin has pushed on through. Again, I'll show you. Bitcoin's moved a bit further. Ethereum hanging back a bit. It needs to get that cyclicity really kicking a lot better. Okay, it needs to be doing a lot more for us there. XRP's having an absolute belter as it heads its way back to the old dollar mark. So, how far has XRP moved from its lows?
Playing your personalized station, my soundtrack from Amazon.
Alexa,
Music.
shut up. This thing just goes off random. I didn't even say the A word. 32%. Most of it being done over the 4 days, the last 4 days. But interestingly enough, where we saw, say, Bitcoin go and smack out 10, 11%, and Ethereum do something very similar here, on the 4th of February, look at XRP here. 7.5. Now, that doesn't come as too, well, it moved, but it didn't really do much, right? Anyway, let's go back to the monthly, which is a very messy looking chart. Let's get that one thing very straight. It is not a very pretty chart. It's been all over the shop, and the SEC pending, whatever is pending, is the main issue for. That would be my guess. Weekly, you can quite clearly see a lower high here, lower low. So the weekly is still in a downtrend. That brings us now to the daily once again. A little bit of a higher low through here. It's not the cleanest, it's not the clearest. So how would I attack trading XRP if I were to do so? First things first, we go to the 4. We see there is a 4-hour uptrend. We've got to move lower from there. Now down to the 2. Nothing there. Very messy. Now down to the 1. Not really much there. Let's hit the 30. We need a pullback. Look, it's been quite good. Higher low, higher high, pullback, off we go. We need to see it come back in, come back in. If it comes back in, then we've got our opportunities for cradles, okay? It's not there just yet. The cyclicity is not there just yet. Something like this, but I want it in a nice, clean, flowing market. Great to see XRP having a great day. It's just got to, I mean, as the market moves higher, I'm all for that, but it's when it settles down a bit and gets itself into a bit of a rhythm, a bit of a routine, that's when myself and the market can come together and make beautiful things happen, because we are both in somewhat of a step together. When it's all over the shop, much more difficult to be accurate and consistent with your trades. Onto ADA or Cardano. I mean, mate, this has held the $1 mark like an absolute beast. Check this out. One buckaroo down there. Support, 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 support. Oh, got 2 lines in there now. You can see how strong that support has been, and we've come off of there about 16% from the dollar mark. So where are we here with Cardano? Well, let's go back to the monthly. It's had a very steep pullback. Have a look. $3.10 to under $8. Huge. Now this is around that dollar mark. That is an absolutely enormous fall from grace. We know that that has occurred. So the monthly can't give us too much data. The weekly is still very messy. And again, we had a lower high, low, then a high, then a low. So it's very, very messy through here. Not looking to read into it too much. If the weekly candle of last week breaks the high, we may just see that follow through. That's the first thing that it needs to do. So not much in the weekly, not much in the monthly that I can gain. The daily, little wee higher low, it's trying to do its thing. If we jump now to the 12, you will see the higher low, higher high, higher low, and just hopefully we can see this run on again. If we can see this run on again, we will have the daily in an uptrend, the 12-hour in an uptrend, and that's when I'll start to move down to timeframes like the 8-hour, looking for my opportunity. The 4-hour, looking for my opportunities as well. I'm going to jump straight to the 15, and as you can see, we have some cyclicity, but not quite what I'm after just yet. Be cautious, be aware, but keep your eye on this. Solana, monthly. Not enough data there, but it's back into that zone. Back into that zone. Let's look at the weekly. We've got a bit more there. Lower high, lower low, a couple of weeks of bouncing back. Does that constitute an uptrend? Does that constitute as being out of a bear market or a downtrend? I shouldn't say bear market. Out of a downtrend? No. In fact, we are still in a downtrend. Very large decline. Let's be realistic here. From the last pullback where we went up, we fell 60%. And don't forget, this was when it came into the cradle zone. So this was an uptrend in the cradle zone. Failed, 60% fall. 2 candles going up, 60%. 2 candles going up. There's nothing stopping this market from going another 60% lower. Now, I'm not suggesting it will happen. I'm just making sure that in your head, you are not always skewed to one side, the outcome of what you want, which you would prefer. You need to have an open mind to what reality could bring to us. Right here on this weekly, Solana is in a downtrend. Onto the daily, it's an uptrend. Higher low, higher high. So how do we use this information of the weekly being in a downtrend? Well, we just keep our mind focused on the fact that things can happen fast. So maybe manage your risk according to that. The fact of the matter is, I like to look at the daily. That's my probably most important trend, all right? If the weekly and the monthly are also in an uptrend with the daily, then it's very simple for me. I'm looking for longs across the board on any manner of the timeframes that I'll trade, okay? The daily being in an uptrend is enough for me to then go lower and look for longs. You can see here, higher, low, higher, higher. The trend is in. The 12 has been cycling along quite nicely. Let's hit the 8. The 8 has been cycling along quite nice. So let's hit the 4. The 4, no. Again, it's been a deep pullback. It's been a higher time frame market. Okay, that's why you're going to see the trend looks beautiful on the 12, but it ain't so hot on the 4. What I want to see from here is for that to change. I want to see this push away, get out of that consolidation, give us something really to sink our teeth into, and then we can move down through these lower time frames and see, do we have options available to us? Again, Solana right now, I'm not seeing too much, but later on this afternoon, if we continue to move, that pullback could be the winner we've been looking for. On to Binance next, monthly, not much to really read into there. We'll hit the weekly next. Again, do we have an uptrend? No. Do we have a downtrend? No. We just got a straight fall. All right. It's, I don't know, it's not the greatest looking chart, to be fair. Moving averages are more inclined for a further downside. However, that doesn't mean anything. That's another thing. All these people out there saying, oh, Bitcoin touched a 50-period moving average. Guess what? I just touched my nose. Who cares? It doesn't mean anything. Because watch, touching my nose now, my nose moved. It moved. What? Why does it have anything to do with the 50? Because the 50 moves. It's a moving average. It's a moving average. Who gives a toss about the 50? Not even the kookaburras, and they're very boisterous. So forget your 50s, forget support and resistance off of moving averages. It doesn't exist. Why? Keyword, moving average. Not absolute average, is it? No, it's the moving average. You are very, very welcome. So there you go. I don't give two hoots about that sort of stuff. Yes, I use moving averages, but they are one ingredient within a checklist system. They're there to increase my probabilities of success. And we go, oh, it's back at the 50. Ah! And then it fell. And everyone's going, oh, well, obviously it worked because it just fell. No, Charlie, it didn't. It didn't work. Look. Because it fell, and now it's well above it. Narrative crushed. Sorry. So don't worry about that stuff. Stay focused on what's real, which is price action, trend. Don't worry about all this hocus pocus rubbish that you hear. I'm not having a go at anybody, by the way. I'm just telling my story, my beliefs, where I come from, why I do what I do. Why? Because moving averages are exactly that, moving averages. And whilst they factor into my trading, they don't make decisions for me. Again, with Binance, Again, with Binance, look, we are getting some form of cyclicity here. Look, if I could see this move a little bit higher. Oops, why didn't that work? It's not a perfect level by any stretch of the imagination, so don't pretend that it is. Neither will I. You got 3 rough moves into about 420, right? If this can extend itself a wee bit further, a pullback onto that level, sitting beautifully well, that could be room for me to get my trade on, because we are converging coming through here. All right, so it's down another 30, a little bit more height and a little bit more pullback, straight into 420. That could be one for later. Again, it's later, it's going to have to be. DOT, same sort of thing, really. You know, pushing out, needs to pull back. But before I do that, let's hit that monthly. Oh dear, not much to see. Let's hit the weekly. Lower high, lower low. It's in a downtrend. Last week, we bounced 20%. Still on a downtrend on the weekly. On the daily, however, higher low, higher high. 4 days moving to the upside. Now, if you watch anything that I was doing before Christmas, I was talking about the fact that we hadn't seen, I think it was 4 days or whatever, of Bitcoin moving higher in a row. We're starting to see some things that are like that now. It does add positives, but we're not out of the woods yet, kids. We're not out of the woods yet. Positive movement, yes. Momentum, yeah, it's even there. But we've still got to break a few more things, and we still need a few more statement type moves to really get the rumble back in our jungle and across the press of positives going for this market. Long term, absolutely I'm positive for more growth. Damn straight. The timing of when these things kick off, that's not my job. That's not my game. I try and take the chunk in the middle of the move, whether that be a downward move or an upward move. It's the chunk in the middle where you can consistently take and make your money, and you don't have to worry about getting lucky. It's just about trading and doing the right thing. So the 12 again here on DOT, higher low, higher high. Love this trend. If I jump now to the 4, what you're going to see is a bit of a mess. This needs to push on again, and then the pullback may be delivered. We'll jump to the 1, and you can see not much has happened here. Jump to the 30, and we have some cyclicity. So what I'm taking from what I've been reading through this so far is that later on today, the 30-minute may be the one that we get our opportunities on. On to AVAX, we'll jump straight to the weekly because the monthly won't have the data. Lower high, lower low. Still on a month, weekly downtrend, yes it is. Daily, it's been grinding with a bit of an uptrend going on right now. Down to the 12. Well, we just pulled back. We got to move. Same thing. We hit the 4. Notice how I do the same thing no matter where I go, no matter what I look at. It's a process of elimination. I'm looking for reasons not to get rid of a chart. I'm not looking for reasons to trade. I'm looking for reasons not to trade, and what I'm left with are the trades that I take. Okay, I'll jump down to the 30 here. Well, it's not quite as clean as some of the others, but there's definitely some moves going on, 1.4% in a 15-minute candle, 12 minutes. So we are starting to see a bit of a momentum shift back to the bulls at the moment. Good. We just got to find those trends that are going to work best for us. Monthly, okay, pretty clean pullback. Weekly, okay. The only problem we've got here is that it did break this old higher low. It's not on an uptrend, it's not in the downtrend, so we can kind of just put it to the side a little bit, this weekly chart, and assess things from the daily moving forward. Bit messy through here. The 2 day is going to show that really clearly. Look, we still got to push a bit further. It's not the clearest looking chart that I've seen on the daily. Let's inspect the 12. Not so great here either with a lower high, low, and then off to a high, ruling itself out a little bit. The 4 hour, it's not very satisfactory for me. I'm going to jump straight to the 30. Woo. Matic's just woken up. There is a bit of cyclicity. It needs to simmer down, calm down a little bit. Oh, and then we hit the meme coins. Yay. Monthly. Yeah. Not much going on there. Weekly. Is that in the downtrend? It's a mess, yeah. Big spikes. That's what Doge does. I got a theory on Doge and the theory on why it moves the way it does, i.e. just big spikes out of nowhere sometimes. I think it's because with Doge, you've got a lot of people that don't know what they're doing. And don't take offense to that either. It's not meant to be offensive. If you're buying a meme coin, then chances are that you're not able to, you might be a trend follower. And when I say a trend follower, I don't mean like me who follows chart trends. I mean, oh, everyone's talking about Doge or Shiba Inu or Snoop Doge or whatever it is. So I better buy some. It's a bandwagon type thing. It's a bandwagon type thing. And that's why when the bandwagon gets some voices and people start to listen again, we do get these big spikes. Case in point, 1, 2, 3, well, look at it. It's all over the shop. It doesn't make it all that tradable from my perspective. I'm happy as Larry to say I'll trade Doge or anything. I don't mind it at all. Don't mind it at all. I notice the flippancy of the chart, the erraticness of the chart, and it's been ongoing like this for a very, very long time. So you just got to be a bit more careful with it. I hate saying it, but it's time to buy Doge. Vitalik is helping improve it. Well, that's fine. If you want to buy Doge, I'm certainly not going to be the man who stops you. Am I going to buy Doge? No. And that's my personal preference. I might not be right on that, but I've got money to put in other projects that I think are really good. But again, I'm not telling you how to invest your money. I'm trying to help you to understand certain characteristics of charts and how I approach the market. So from daily, let's go to the 12. Doop, scooby-doop. High, low, high, ain't looking all that crash hot. 4 hour looking much better, to be fair. It's pulled back. When I say I want the move to extend a bit further, this is it. See how it's pulled back and it's moved nicely. That next pullback could provide opportunity. A little bit messy here on the 30. Still a bit messy, huh? And I've got, again, I will say this. I will trade Doge for setups there. No problem with it. Not a problem. Just the same as if your grandma's curtains had enough liquidity and was listed. I'll trade that too. I'm not picky. I just want to know that I've got liquidity and I've got moves. So I'll trade Doge absolutely happily. Right now, it ain't happening because I don't have the cyclicity. So in summarizing, I would suggest that whilst it is nice to see our portfolios up significantly over the last few days, don't get me wrong, I'm in that boat too. It's a very nice thing to see. Whilst it's nice to see that, I'm holding back on having any euphoric feelings of bullishness. And the reason for that is what I just took you through. Whilst we do have a pop, we need it to not fizzle now. We don't want a firework market where it just goes bang and then falls back down to earth. We want this thing to keep on moving. And until I get that confirmation and recognition that we are out of the danger zone, and especially seeing, let's do this, especially seeing Bitcoin, for example, push on further, get a good move on, then a pullback, then the next higher high on that. If we get that pullback for a higher low and then move to a higher high, that's where they got extra additional confidence is going to come in, because it means it will be its second way through its trend playing out, and it will have changed a lot of what the market sees via charts and also via the what people feel in their hearts. Because yes, every market has emotions attached to it. Every market does. Every single market. So the emotions do play out, and I want those emotions to be leaning more towards the bullish side of things. Then we can start to feel a little bit more confident that maybe 2022 is going to be a belter of a year. But for now, keep yourselves very safe. Have yourself a fantastic day. Sorry about all the cods, wallop and waffle. I'm just feeling fantastic, and I'm a very, very happy man right now. I hope you are having a fantastic day. Please open your account with Bybit. You can get up to 30% off your trading fees, which is very, very beneficial to you because it's money in your pocket, not theirs. And you can do that in the description below. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. And if you want to find out more about how I use moving averages and how I put together my lists, well, it's pretty straightforward. There's a free course called Become a Trader at www.TraderCobb.com. I almost ate a fly. Bye.